Had our first practice of the day. Got one more at 7. But you know, it's 2 days, it's gonna be a grind. We gotta push through it.
You good, Coach?
You know, now I'm about to get my
The back of my hands are riddled with scars. I'm completely missing a fingernail. My right pinky juts out like Italy into the Mediterranean. My thumbs have been jammed more times than a lemon printer.
Well, our media guy, Brian Hernandez, came up to me after a 2-a-day practice, and he approached me and he said, you know anything about the Huffington Post? I was like, absolutely I do. And I was, things were going on in my head, like, what do they want me to do? Do they want me just to, interview me, whatever? And he goes, well, they want you to write a blog for them as a guest writer. And I was like, I'm in. You don't have to explain it anymore. I'm in, and it's taken off. And I couldn't have fathomed the success that it would be having.
I've been playing football for 13 years, and I still get the pregame jitters without fail. No matter the weather, sweat glistens on my skin. My eyes become dry and dart around, not able to focus on anything in particular. My nose runs and I lick my lips incessantly like a starving man staring at a Thanksgiving turkey. My neck stiffens, forcing me to constantly roll it around, while my chest tightens, forcing me to constantly take deep breaths.
I have a lot of fun writing. People always ask me, well, it must be terrible to have to write in a 1,000-word blog every week. I'm sitting there thinking 1,000 words is not enough, and that I could go on and write and write and write because there's so much to share, and there's just endless possibilities where this could go. And I really enjoy writing because I get to express what I'm feeling on the inside on paper, and that's what takes me the longest, because I want to express it in a way that people really can understand what I'm saying. Anything that I can inspire people with, that's what I want to do. I want to change the way people think about football, and I want to change the way people think about athletes. And I think that I'm, barely chipping away at that right now, but throughout my whole career and throughout my whole life, that's exactly what I want to do.
Buffet owners kick me out of their establishments. I spit when I talk, huff when I walk, and snort when I run. I haven't seen a razor in a few months, a barber in a year, or a date in 2. I'm a football player by choice, but an offensive lineman by the grace of God.
You can find a link to Nate's writing at goutsa.com. And while you're there, you better pick up your tickets for the Texas State game November 24th. Still some good tickets available, and UTSA officials are hoping to fill the dome.
I think it's a fabulous way for UTSA to openly invite all different cultures into their college, and it's a wonderful opportunity for anybody to take place and attend the college. I think it's great, and if you look around the stadium right now as we speak, you see all the different cultures that are being celebrated and shared today.
Gives some extra emphasis to the Hispanics of our community, gives us an additional sense of pride, and we can really get behind a team with that kind of emphasis on our community.
You might recall that before the Rice game, they had a bye week for UTSA. Gave them an opportunity to get out of the practice field, get in some extra work. Also gave them a chance to get out in the community and meet some very special fans. 2 weeks ago, 4 players from the Roadrunner football team visited the Methodist Children's Hospital. They didn't realize that a short visit would make such a difference.
Oh man, these kids, they're fired up. They're excited to see Rowdy, and then they're excited to see football players too,
Are you a football player? You want to be a football player?
They held up some good conversation with us. One knew a lot about football. He was talking to us. He seemed kind of happy to meet us and everything. It was nice to share our experience with him and talk about football with him. And he's so young, but he knew a lot, and it's good to put a smile on their face.
Nicole Seiler was enjoying her final year at Steele High School. She was looking forward to graduation and the challenges beyond, including college.
So much playing to her last senior year and see everything is the way it turned is very difficult.
Her mother and father are facing a parent's worst nightmare.
She was diagnosed on the 22nd of February with non-Hodgkin lymphoma cancer. And as I say, it's just been a life-changing event, but the biggest thing is you gotta remain positive and you gotta keep faith in God and everything will work out.
I think it's good to get your emotions out because if you keep them bottled up, it'll just mess you up. So you have to really just let it out and talk to people who will understand.
I mean, he's known to take food from these kids. Yeah, so that's why I'm sitting here next to you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can take my medicine. I was like, oh my God, they're huge. They were humongous. But it was really cool to see them. It was nice. I've never really met any football players before, so it was really cool for them to come by.
Nicole had an impact on the players as well. Quarterback John Simmons says that the visit with Nicole and all of the other patients put his life and the idea of football in perspective.
Just special, just to see, first of all, how excited her parents were to see us, and just a sweet girl, just full of life and full of love. And her dad was, acted like one of our biggest fans. I found out he's a, retired military, and just what he's brought to us, and just the impact he had on me, just being in there in that short time. Just a true inspiration, it opens your eyes to things like that.
Tailgating scene is just awesome, and there's a lot of different ways to tailgate with different styles. But booster David Spencer has taken it to a whole different level. Entrepreneur David Spencer has been a UTSA fan for years. When he heard about the prospects of a football team, he went into action.
A good friend of mine had a few t-shirts that were surplus. And I said, well, what do they look like? And she goes, I don't know, I've got 25 or 35 different styles here. And I said, how many t-shirts do you have? And she goes, 10,000. I said, that'll fill my bus up with t-shirts. So long story short, I ended up buying 10,000 t-shirts and donating them to the athletic department. So what do you do if you have 10,000 t-shirts? You buy a t-shirt gun. I've always wanted one.
University of Texas graduate moved to San Antonio in 2008 when he started Texas Intrepid Ventures. The company focuses on medical device innovation. His inventions fill a critical role helping veterans here in Military City and beyond. Once Spencer arrived here, he saw UTSA's potential to be more than just a commuter school. In hopes of giving the students at UTSA the complete college experience, Spencer knew football and tailgating were a must.
I said, hey, I want to do a tailgate because this has got to be a fun party. And San Antonio is a football town, and we have been looking for a great D1 football product, and other than the Alamo Bowl. And I said, tell me all you know about tailgating. And here's his advice to me. He said, David, start small. So I just want you to know, this is small.
Now after 1 year, the Brute Squad holds the largest tailgate in San Antonio. At most home games, they end up feeding an average of 1,000 people. Spencer, the Alumni Association, and the engineering department combined to make a broad mix of fans.